Welcome back programmers. In the today's section I am going to show you how you can create this awesome responsive website using the vue.js. So this is nothing but a simple weather website which I created using the Vue, and in here if I write any city name, let's use the Vadodara, and if I click on the enter button, as you can see we got the Celsius, temperature, address, time, this icon related to the weather, and the description and the weather. It means this is a simple weather application, but if you notice the background is changed automatically according to the weather. Now let's change the weather. Let's use the north. So as you can see the background is changed and this icon is also changed, and we got the cloudy weather in the north FR, and the Celsius temperature is 15. Now let's change again. Let's try Canada. So we got a 17 temperature and it's cloudy. So this is how our website will appear, and it's fully responsive, and we are simply going to use a simple vue.js. So let's begin. Now before jump into the code, if you don't know what is vue.js, so simply vue.js is a framework of the JavaScript for front end part, and in later video I am going to show you how you can connect the Django, which is the Python framework, and the Vue, which is the JavaScript framework, and combine and create a simple beautiful responsive website. So in the today's section we are simply going to use this vue.js to create a simple weather application, and for that obviously you have to install the vue.js in your system. Before that you have to use the npm. Now either you can use the npm or you can use the yarn. Now to install Node, the link is in the description, you can check it out, and the source code of this project is available in my GitHub account, link is in the description, and I highly suggest you to update this project and commit changes and append a new improvement to this project. Now to install the Vue, obviously you have to use either the yarn or the npm, so I highly suggest you to use the npm. So just write npm init vue@latest. It will install the latest version of the Vue. So let's create a Vue project, and for that open your favorite directory and just open the terminal there. Now if you have successfully installed the Vue, so just write Vue and hit enter. It will give you the latest version and all of the information. For version just write Vue -v. So as you can see we got 5.0.4. Now to create actual project you need to write Vue create and your project name. So I am going to name it AIOC weather view. Now you have to choose either manual view or by default view. In by default we got 3 and 2, so I will select 3 and hit enter. Now it is creating a new project. I changed the name to view weather because I already have the directory AIOC. So you can name whatever your project you want. I just named it view weather. So let it install. It will take around few minutes. So as you can see my project is successfully created, named view weather. Now either you can directly go on the cd view weather and run the server, but I am going to open my project as the project in IDE. Now you can choose any IDE you want. I am going to use the PyCharm. So in PyCharm just click on the file and open your particular project. So this is my project under AIOC view weather. So I'm going to click on this view weather and open it. So this is the structure of Vue. In here we got a lots of files available. Under src we got assets, component, app.vue and main.js. Now please remember that these are the important file. Please do not append or change anything in here if you don't know what you are doing. Now under the components we got hello world.vue. We don't need that right now, we can skip or delete it. Under app.vue we are going to create our simple code. Now to run server simply just click on the terminal and write npm run server serve. It will take some time to open. As you can see we just got this link. Now this will open as the local host. Either you can use the network or either you can use the local. Let's just click on this link. So as you can see, our vue.js app is successfully created and we got the logo and the welcome page. Now all of this is happening because we already have the code of this welcome page available in our app.vue. Now let's start coding. Okay, so now let's code. Now in here we got a lots of files available, but please forget about all of this file and just focus on this app.vue and main.js. In the today's section we are simply going to change this app.vue and create a whole application here. Now in here we got a lots of things going on. First of all, this is nothing but the template of the welcome page, and in here we got the data, all of the exported data, and this is nothing but the simple style. So I am simply going to remove this style and this component because I don't need it right now, and obviously because I deleted the component I have to remove this import hello world from .component hello world.vue. Then I will remove these two, or you can either delete all of the template. Okay, so that's our main page. So if I open my website in here, so as you can see we got nothing in here. So let me just write some code to show you how it works. So this is my compiler and this is my front end. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how this actually works. So it will work whenever you save the code, it will directly show in here without reload the page. For example, subscribe me. Okay, so that's a simple text. Now if I just click on the Ctrl S, it will directly show that text in here. But before that I want to show you can't write any content outside. For example, if you want to create a particular element or your front end part, you have to use the template. Without that, whatever text you write, it will not show here, and for that you can use the template tag, and for that you can just write template, and in here whatever you write like subscribe AIOC, it will show here. If I just save it, it will appear in this front end. So let's develop our web page. Now first of all, to create a simple weather application, you have to create a search bar, and for that what you can do, you can directly use the input. Just write input. Now whenever we got some errors in here, it will appear in here, so don't worry about that. We will fix that whenever we write code, because I have a habit, whenever I write some code I directly click on the Ctrl S. Okay, so this is my input, name, ID. Now we have to create some containers for this input, and for that let me just create the div. Now you can name whatever you want to your div, and then again I'm going to create the main. So this is my container, and in here I will create a div class search box. You can name it whatever. So class is equal to search box. Now in here I will paste that input. So let me save it. As you can see we got input. Now our view name is app, so in here obviously I have to pass the ID as the app. Now let's write something in here. So type of my input is text, and class is equal to, let me create a new class, search bar. So this is my input. Now let's create some styles for our input. Now in our assets we need two images. First one is for hot background and the second one is for cold background, and for that what I'm going to do, I'm going to search a particular image from Google and directly use that image here. So I'm just going to click on the right and paste both of the images in assets. So this is the cold bg and this is the hot bg.png. Now in the style we are going to add some CSS for our UI version. Now as you can see, first I am appending the star is the margin 0, padding 0 and box sizing border box. It means we got margin is equal to 0 and padding equal to 0. Now box sizing is equal to border box. Now for body I am using the font family Monstrat and sans serif font. Now I am going to use this app to change all of the body related to this front end UI, and for that I am simply going to pass background image is equal to URL. Now my image is available in the assets, and under assets we got cold bg. Now at random point I'm going to pass the cold bg, means whenever user go on my website, first it will appear the cold bg, cold background image. Then we are going to change particularly as per as Celsius, and for that I'm simply using the cold bg.png. The next line is background size is equal to cover, and background position is bottom, and transition equal to 0.4 second. So our website looks like this. As you can see, we got the background image, but it's in the background, so we have to change that. Now for main part, I'm using the minimum height equal to 100 vh, padding is equal to 25 vh, and the background image is equal to linear gradient. Now as you can see, my image is coming, but because I'm using this background image in the main, my image is changed to a lower opacity and RGBA is 0.75. It means our image is linear gradient. If I remove this line, as you can see, our image is so much bright. We can't show anything in here if it's that much bright. That's why I'm lowering the opacity using the linear gradient, and I'm using the top bottom, and I'm using the 2 RGBA for changing the color. So as you can see, the image is changed into this, so I can append some text and some details in front of this image. Now let's change this search bar. First let's change this search box. Now dot search box width equal to 100% and margin equal to bottom 30px. Now then we have to remove the block. First let's see how our search box is looking. So as you can see, we didn't affect any of this search bar because we just changed the width of search box div. So now let's change the search bar, and for that I'm going to directly use search bar dot search box dot search bar. Now display is equal to block, width is equal to 100, padding is equal to 15 px, color is equal to 313131, and font size equal to 20 px. Box shadow, because I'm creating a box shadow, so box shadow will be 16 px and the color will be 000025. Now appearance none, border none, background none, outline none. Now I'm doing this because I don't want anything appears on the front end like this border, this background and this outline. Then I'm changing the background color of the search bar and border radius. Now I'm changing the border radius as 10px, 10px, 10px and 10px. So let's reload. As you can see, my search bar is looking fabulous. Now because of the border radius is 10px, so this is kind of curved here. Now because I am removing the appearance, border and background and outline, so I can't see the outline, border and background in here. But if I remove this and save it, as you can see, it looks like we got a black shadow or something in here. So that is why I'm removing all of that stuff. Now also if I remove these 3 lines, so as you can see, my image looks like this because we didn't have any color in here. So that's why I'm appending some colors and appending some curve using this radius. Now what I want to do, whenever I click on this search bar, I want to change its appearance, and for that what I can do, I can use the focus method. Now dot search bar box dot search bar gem focus. In here I'm changing whenever someone click on it. What I want to do, I want to change the color and append a more whiteness to this search bar and append the shadow and change the radius. So let's try. If I click on it here, as you can see, the color is changed and the radius is only changed in here and here. So this is kind of look like fancy. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new elements. In here what I'm going to do, first we need to show weather details like city, Celsius and so on. So and for that I'm going to create a div and class will be weather wrap. Now let's use this weather wrap and create some elements. Now we will create a 2 div. First one is for location and the second one is for weather. So let's create a location box. This is the div for location box and this div is for weather box. So I'm simply going to copy this and change it to weather. So this is how I'm going to add a data. Okay, so in this weather wrap we are creating a two element. First div is for location and the second div is for date. And in the weather box we are creating a four element. First one is the temperature, second one is for image, third one is for weather like cloudy, rainy and so on so, and the fourth one is for description of weather. Now please remember that you have to open the class which we are going to create later. So I'm using the location for this city and country, I'm using the date for date, I'm using the temp for temperature, I'm using the weather image for weather image, I'm using the weather for weather and weather description for this description. So let's add some CSS for location and date. For location I am using the simple color, font size, weight and align and shadow, and for also I am using the same but text align equal to center, and I am using the italic text here. And for date again I am using the color white, and also for location I am using the color white. Now for weather box we are going to append all of the text to center, and for that dot weather box text align equal to center. Now what we are going to do, we are going to create a box for this Celsius, and for that obviously we are going to change the temperature class, which is nothing but this temperature class, and for that let's create CSS. So in here I'm simply creating a box. As you can see, display equal to inline block, padding equal to 10 px and 25 px, color is white, font size is equal to 102 px, font width equal to 900, shadow is 3 px, 6 px and RGB, and here I am using the RGB color 000 and 0.25 for the text shadow, which is like this. And for background color I am using the white, opacity of very low, and then box radius is 16 px and margin is 30 px, and box shadow is equal to 3 px, 6 px and this RGB color, which is nothing but the 00 and 0.25 and so on. So I changed the weather and weather description, color, size, width, style, shadow. And for weather image I am using the position center. Now we are not showing any images in here, so let's just skip for it now. Now let's just go on to the main JavaScript part. So this part will be kind of tricky, so please focus carefully. So this is how our website is looking. Whenever I click on the search bar, it will change its format. Now what we are going to do, we are going to get an API key from OpenWeather. So the link for the openweathermap.org is in the description. So check out now. In here you have to sign in or register. It is totally free. First of all you have to sign in or register and then click on this API. Then simply click on the API keys. Then you can generate new API keys by just clicking on it in here. You can name whatever you want of your key. For example, weather AIOC, and just click on the generate. So as you can see we got weather AIOC, so just copy that key. Now let's create a data object, and for that just write the data, and then in here just write the return. Now in here you have to pass the four value. First one is the API key which we just got, and paste it in here. The second one is the URL base, which is nothing but the https api.openweathermap.org/data/2.5/, and the query is null. In here query we are ever simply using the empty string. We are going to get some data from search bar and fetch that data in the query string. The last one is the weather. This is an array which we are going to append later. So this is the four important values which you have to create. Now what we are going to do, first of all we are going to grab the query, and for that in here in the input what we are going to do, first of all let me change all of this width of this line. So this is kind of perfect for now, so let me just add. Now in here what I am simply going to do is that we are going to fetch some queries, some text from here to this query, and for that what we are going to do, we are going to use the v model, and for that just write the v model, v-model. Now this v model is nothing but a query appender which we can use to get some text from text box or any data. Now v model equal to, we have to write some variable name, you can use any variable name. I'm going to directly pass the query. Now what is the main benefit of this view model is that it will change live. For example, in here let me just print that query. So in double curly bracket, if I write the query, which is nothing but the variable name, and let's write some data. So as you can see, it is printing live in here because we are using the view model. It is printing live in here. So as you can see, it's perfectly working, and I can see my text live, and I can manipulate the text live. So we don't need it right now. I'm going to remove it. So now that we created all of this data, what we are going to do, we are going to create some of the methods, or you can say functions. So and for that we are directly going to pass the methods, and in here let's create some methods. Now we have to use the colons in here. Now let's create some of these methods. First method is for to fetch the weather, and for that what I'm going to do, I'm going to name it fetch underscore weather, and I'm going to pass the e and create this applications method. Now e is nothing but an event, so I can pass like this: if e dot keys equal to enter key. If someone write any enter key, then do this, because I don't want to show all of the data whenever someone write something. That is why I am using this e dot keys equal to enter. Means whenever someone write any data like Canada, America, whatever data, it will appears here in the events, and it will check if e dot keys equal to enter. Means whenever user hit on the enter key, then this function or this code, particular code, will work. Now I am using the fetch API. If you don't notice fetch API, it is nothing but an API for this key for fetching the data from the API. So let's use it. Now I am going to use the fancy tag. If you don't notice, fancy tag is nothing but a newest way to represent our string. First of all, we need to print the URL base. Now URL base is nothing but or this URL base, so I'm directly going to copy and paste it in here, but we got this error, URL base is undefined. That's why I have to use this dot URL base. Now I'm simply using this URL base, which is nothing but this URL base, to fetch some data. If you copy and paste it in here and pass some query in here, if you pass some query, let's say Vadodara or Canada, let's write Canada, then slash, then units, metrics, and app id. Now in here we have to write our application id, or you can say API key. So it will so whether question mark q equal to Canada and units equal to metrics and app id equal to your API key. So you will get all of these JSON details. Now we are going to fetch this JSON detail. Like as you can see in the Canada, the longitude and latitude we got the temperature, we got the speed, we got the type, we got the sunrise, we got the sunset, we got the time zone, we got the name, we got the code, we got the visibility, we got the station, overcast, cloud, description, and a lots of data. Now we are going to fetch this data using this link, but in here we have to change this into query, and for that what I am going to do, I am going to copy that and paste it into here. Now obviously we have to change API keys and the query, and for that we already got the URL base. So what I can do, I can directly use that URL base. I can remove this URL base from here, and I can directly use this fancy type to use this dot URL base, and I can use this query and change it into again dollar and this dot query, because we already got the query. Now the last one is the API keys, because we can directly pass the API key in here. So again dollar and this dot API key. Okay, So oops, we have to pass the API key. Okay, so this is nothing but we are fetching the data from that link, and we are passing the URL base as this URL base, API keys as this API keys, and the query as whatever user add in here. Now obviously we have to fetch it, and for that what I can do, I can use this dot then response. We can use this JSON data, and for that just write dot then response equal to return response dot json and dot then this dot set result. Now obviously we have to create this function set result to send some data to front end. Now and for that what I'm going to do, I can directly just pass in here again new function set result and just pass the result, and this dot weather is equal to results. In a simple way we are appending all of the data into this weather empty array using this set results. Now I am going to create another function date builder. Now this is nothing but a way to create a date. I am simply returning the day, date, months and year in format. Okay, so let's see if it's working. Yes, we didn't got any error till now. Now what I'm going to do in here, what I want to do is that I want to change this manual text to JSON text, and for that what I can do, first I have to check if this data is available or not. It means whenever we didn't write anything in here, obviously we got some problems. Like as you can see, for now weather is empty. So if we try to print some data like directly in here, like this, like we weather, and if we save the data, so as you can see we got empty list. Now if we didn't want this, what you can do, you can create an condition. So in this weather wrap we are going to create a simple condition. There are lots of methods available. We are going to, you can either use the velse, vlcif, vif. We are going to use the if else condition. Now we just need the if condition. So in here what I am simply doing is that if type of weather.main is not equal to undefined, it means if some data is available, so and so do this. If data is not available, then don't print anything. So because of this condition, in first reload we didn't gonna get any data, anything in here because of this condition. But if we write some data like let's say Vadodara, then we will get some data. Now let's change this to data just like this. As you can see, first we are directly printing weather.name, weather.sys.country and date builder. Now this date builder is nothing but the function which we just created in here. So this is nothing but a simple way to print a latest date. Now in here also we have to change the data. So first of all we got the temperature. Now in here I am using the math.round function because this weather.main.temperature will give us the temperature in the float number. We don't need the float number, we just need the integer number, and that's why I am using the math.round. The second one is the image. Now in here images, as you can see I am using the img id equal to vcon, alt equal to weather icon and vbind. Now vbind is nothing but because we are not providing the directly src, that's why I am using the vbind. Now vbind src is nothing but the open weather icon library. Now we just need to print this link which is nothing but the open weather link, then whatever latest current icon for our particular country, and for that as you can see we are providing directly weather.weather of 0.icon.png. Now this weather is nothing but this data which we are directly using from here, this weather. And the last one is nothing but the description. Now because we are using the list of first, that's why I am using the of 0, because it will give us this JSON data in a list format, that is why. Now let's try to add some query. As you can see, if I send some query and hit on the enter, it will not work because we are not calling these weather functions. And for that what you can do, you can use the @key press in this input bar. So you can directly use the @key press, key down, key up. There are lots of functions, you can directly use whatever you want. but I'm directly going to use this @key press and call this function, which is nothing but fetch weather. So just copy that function name which we just created and paste it in here. So now what is happening simply in here, whenever we click on enter, means whenever we click on any keys, it doesn't matter what key you are entering from keyboard, this function will call. Now what will happen, now in here we put one simple condition: if e.key is equal to enter, then and then so and so we are printing all of this stuff, else we are not doing anything. So simply whenever you click on the enter button, it will show data. So let's try. So as you can see, I'm entering the key. It means whenever I enter a particular element, or you can say text, it will fire this fetch weather function. But only if and if only I click on the enter button, it will show all of the data. So as you can see, it's perfectly showing. Our application is looking fabulous and marvelous. First we got the Canada and the country, Saturday 14th May 2022, 19th Celsius, and this is the icon. Now this icon will change according to the weather. For example, let's go to the China. As you can see, in China it's kind of cloudy. And now let's go to the Mexico. We got rain. So as you can see, the icon is also changed, very heavy rain. Now let's go to the north. So in north we got cloud. Now let's go to the Korea. In Korea we got again cloud, 16 Celsius. Okay, so that is how you can create a simple application. But the thing is, we are not changing the background image, and for that what we can do, if the Celsius is greater than 16, then we can change the background image. Currently this is nothing but the hot image, so cold image, because we are simply printing the cold bg. Now we have to create another CSS for hot, and for that I am directly going to just pass the hashtag app.hot. We are not using this hot currently, but we will use it. In here you have to just pass the hot bg.png. Now according to the temperature it will change it, and for that what you can do, you can just directly go on this app, and in here we are going to pass the condition, because we need to change the class, and that's why I am using the colon class equal to. First we will check is type of weather dot main. Main is nothing but, remember, or main is nothing but or this weather dictionary. If type of weather dot main is not equal to undefined, first we will check is or dictionary is empty or not, and for that not equal to undefined. First we will check if or weather is not undefined. In a simple way, is or this data of this weather is empty or not. If it's not empty, then what you can do, then I want to change the image according to the temperature. Now what I am going to do is pass the and condition, and weather dot temperature, which is nothing but the temperature. Now you have to use the main dot temp, because we are providing the data in the main dot temp is greater than 16. If it's greater than 16, change the class to hot. Just simply write the hot colon and empty. So that's it. Now let's try it. Let's try Vadodara. As you can see, the Celsius is 39. That is why the background image is changed. Now let's try Mexico. Background image is still hot. Now let's try China. It's still hot. Now let's go to the north. I think north will be cold. Okay, it's still 19. So let's find Korea. Okay, Korea got 16. So as you can see, it worked. So this is how you can create a simple application using vue.js. All of this code is available in my GitHub account. Link is in the description, and please check out my allinonecode.com website. All of the source code and the explanation in the deep is available in my all-in-one code YouTube channel and the website. So that is it for today's guys. If you like this video, share this video with other programmers, hit on the bell icon so you'll never miss my latest video. If you wanna learn more about the JS of views, then comment me right now. So see you guys in the next video. Till then, just code.